welcome to the third installment of Nailhead, and we're coming to you live from Berkeley. And as usual, all these things I'm saying is coming from Nailhead. I'm just a vessel of him. I'm nameless. I'm nothing. It's all his idea, so don't blame me. So, anyway, he has a little commentary to make, and this is pretty much it. He was wondering, like, what your goal in life is. Really, why do you exist? Do you exist to create another generation just like you? Do you exist to destroy? Skyscrapers were built, wilderness was cleared, Indians were massacred, buffaloes were wiped out to extinction, all for your ass. So what are you going to do about it? What is there to do? Nothing. You're right there and you're doing nothing. You're going to wake up, go to work, come home to a wife or husband, wake up again, kiss some more ass. There's nothing. Like, what is your goal in life? Like, really, ultimately? You're going to one day realize that you're old and regret that you stopped dreaming when you were too young to do something about those dreams. Your energy is being sucked from your soul, or so Nailhead says. Either that or you keep it all inside until one day you just explode. Oh no, you say, I'm happy, I own a house, I have a wife and kids, you know, my life's made. But deep down, are you really happy, or is it just blind faith? Faith in that you've hit your peak, faith in a religion that you believe just because your parents taught you to believe in, faith in the society that society taught you to believe in, faith to let other people think for you. You're a citizen of the United States of America, and this is a country of expression, so express yourself. This country was supposedly founded on the freedom of expression. It is not a crime to disagree with anything, pretty much, with laws laid down by the government. It's not a crime to oppose a military action like the Gulf War. But the funny thing about it is that the people who claim to be the truest Americans are the ones who are trying to squash this freedom of expression. So on that note, let's do an edit.
Many people think you can tell if someone has AIDS just by looking at them, but they're wrong. A person can have AIDS for a long time without showing any symptoms. So protect yourself. Not having sex is one way to avoid AIDS. Staying away from people who shoot drugs is another. If you do have sex, use a condom. It may be the most important thing you ever do, because what you see may not be what you get. Help protect yourself against AIDS.
As usual, there's a special guest on the show, and I'd like to introduce him. His name is Tom. He's an aspiring bass player. He's an ex-convict. He's father of many. So here he is, Tom. 1, 2, 3.
How's it going?
How you doing, Tommy?
Pretty good.
All right, well, Tom's a resident of a town that also gets service from this cable, Dayton. So, Tom, how's life been treating you? Found employment yet?
Actually, I haven't. You know, with the economy the way it is, it's been very difficult to find any part-time or full-time work.
Yeah, very true, very true. The way things are going, it's tough to do anything these days. But, you know, a lot of people complain that this show isn't, it's not enough public service oriented, and we're going to do a little segment that's informative for people of all ages. It's going to be our drug segment. And my friend Tom, though probably has never done a drug in his life, is going to try to answer some questions about drugs. It's going to be like Jeopardy or something. Okay, you ready for this?
Certainly am.
All right, I'm going to give you, for this one, I'm going to give you what to look for, like what paraphernalia, and you're going to tell me what drug I'm talking about, okay?
All right.
Okay. You're looking for capsules, tablets, microdots, or blotter squares. Ding, ding, ding.
Acid?
Acid. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, we'll try another one. This is a tough one. You're looking for pills or capsules, loss of sleep and appetite, irritability, anxiety, weight loss, and hyperactivity.
Would that be amphetamines?
Yes, because it's stimulants and amphetamines is under that category. That's 2 in a row. Let's go for the perfect 3. That one's easy. All right, this is going to be a really tough one. You're looking for odor of substance on clothing or breath, intoxication, drowsiness, and poor muscle control. Well, since that could be anything, I'll give you more clues. Another clue is nausea, dizziness, headaches, lack of coordination and control, and the last clues are unconsciousness, suffocation, nausea, vomiting, damage to the brain, central nervous system, and sudden death. And no, it's not a girlfriend.
Would that be alcohol, Glenn?
That's very close. Nope, it's actually inhalants, but that was a tough one. But 2 out of 3 isn't bad, so we're going to give you a welcome home flag for the troops that are already back, but you can use it for the Haitians and any other immigrants that come over.
Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Barbara Bush. It is wonderful to have this opportunity to talk to you about one of the most worthwhile organizations I know, United Way. Recently, I met a third-generation welfare mother. She and her 3 children were trapped in the welfare system before she sought help from a United Way-supported agency. That young mother is now off welfare. United Way, it brings out the best in all of us.
Okay, seeing as this is a local show, Nailhead here thought that it would be in our best interest to do a local interest story. So each week we will focus in on a story that is something that happens locally. And this week, even though it's a little late because it ain't Halloween, we're going to focus in on the ghastly goings-on at the Assonet burial ground. All right, apparently 2 weeks ago, 2 youths broke into a vault of a woman buried in 1911 and cut her head off with a hacksaw and tossed the head into the woods. And they were later apprehended. And but even more recently, satanic vandalism was found on the tomb and notes saying all kinds of groovy things. And the police are a little worried. There's even rumors that they're going to replace the radar detectors in Freetown with Satan detectors. So people are up in arms, and the comment on that is, my guess, the Tom.
Well, it's a very heinous crime, Glenn, as I'm sure you would agree with me. And the thing I find hard to believe about the story is that a woman from 1911 should rightfully not have her head still on her body. So I think that the cutting off of a head from 1911 is incongruous with the rest of this report.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, thank you. And Nailhead would just like to say that he really doesn't have anything to say about it because things that affect the dead have nothing to do with in the place of the living. And if you're going to make a really big deal out of this, I don't know, you just need to make a big deal out of something. You should be focusing your energy on something that's going to do the living some good.
Power to the people.
Okay, one more local story. This is in the Acushnet area, and I'm getting this from a local paper. And the headline says, Acushnet dog owner ordered leashed. And, I mean, I know the leash laws should be tough, but when the owner actually has to be leashed, I think that's going a little too far. It says, oh, wait a minute, that's Alicia's pet. I'm sorry.
If you drink and drive in Massachusetts, the odds of getting nailed have never been higher. Not because there are fewer of you drinking and driving, but because there are that many more of us out to get you.
Okay, this is the time for our music segment, and this week we're going to get a little closer to the mainstream with new releases by Soundgarden, which is Bad Motorfinger, and Red Hot Chili Peppers, Sex, Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic, Blood. And we're going to start right out with the Red Hot Chili Peppers album. And I'll let Mr. Tom comment on that first.
Red Hot Chili Peppers' new album, Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic, is it's a very well constructed album. It's over an hour and 10 minutes long, I believe, and I'd have to say that at least half of it is definitely worth listening to.
Okay, and Nailhead would like to say that the Red Hot Chili Peppers album, yeah, it is really good. It's a long album. It's probably one of the strongest to date, although a lot of diehard fans are claiming they sold out. And he thinks that's not true because it is a good album, and he likes it a lot. And it jams at points, Flea's still pounding on the bass, and it's worth getting even if you don't like him, so get it. Okay, now the next album, Soundgarden, Bad Motorfinger, is also a pretty good album, but the lead singer is starting to get a little bit too rock and roll-y for his likings. But basically, the music on it's really good, and it's long, which is always a plus, 60 minutes, because there's always going to be some high points in that. So he likes that one, too. So those are 2 good reviews for both albums from Nailhead. And let's see what the Tom has to say about the Soundgarden thing.
I think the Soundgarden, also over an hour and a half long, I believe, is very well done. If you're into heavy metal, I suggest that you pick this up. And Chris Cornell, the lead singer from Soundgarden, has a very powerful voice. He has quite a range on the album, and might as well get it, clown.
Okay, Nailhead heard rumors that you have some scathing words for the radio industry and music industry in general, the Tom. So he would be interested to hear what you have to say, basically. So what is it you have to say?
Well, a perfect example of the outrage I feel for the music industry right now is that a popular band called Nirvana right now is being played on most major FM stations. They're a hard rock band, and they've been around for at least 5 to 7 years, and they were never heard of on radio.
So what's your point?
My point is that the only radio to listen to is college radio.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point. Less commercials on those stations too.
Very true.
What'd you say?
Any public service announcement is worth listening to over some media bullshit.
It's very true. Very true. Okay, Nailhead wanted to bring on a guest. This is pretty much his best friend, the only one with a mental capacity equal to his, and it's the Bear. And him and the Bear hang out often in there. They're pretty good buddies, but the Bear is also camera shy and cannot communicate, and for some reason won't communicate towards me. So we can't have an interview with him, so I don't know why he's on here. I'm gonna start out with a little book review by Henry Miller called Chocolate Capricorn, and this book was written in 1949, and only at that time was it published, and that was just France. It took till 1962 for this country to publish it because, as you know, this country isn't really have that much freedom of expression as people would like you to believe. But I'm gonna read a reading from it because it's a really good book, and I think everyone should go out and buy it. Although you won't find it at the malls because those bookstores are lame. So here it is, a little reading from Tropical Capricorn from Henry Miller. Okay, start up the music, because there'll be music there. All right. Okay. I heard later when I had grown up that they had a hell of a time bringing me out of the womb. I can understand that perfectly. Why budge? Why come out of a nice warm place? A cozy retreat in which everything is offered to you in gratis, or gratis, or something. The earliest remembrance I have is of the cold, the snow, the ice in the gutter, the frost on the window panes, the chills of the sweaty green walls in the kitchen. Why do people live in outlandish climates in a temperate zone? Are they miscalled? Because people are natural idiots, natural sluggards, naturally cowards. Until I was about 10 years old, I never realized there were warm countries, places where you didn't have to sweat for a living, nor shiver and pretend that it was a tonic and exhilarating. Wherever there is cold, there are people who work themselves to the bone, and when they produce young, they preach to the young the gospel of work, which is nothing at bottom, the doctrine of inertia. And that's a reading from Henry Miller. Thank you. Okay, on behalf of everyone at the Nailhead staff, this is Vessel of Nailhead saying, it's been wonderful, and I'm happy you could spend your time with us. And this is the third show, as you know, and the fourth one will be coming up next week. No, this is the third. And I really hope you enjoyed it. And I'd like to say thanks to my special guest, who you'll be seeing more of, the Tom. The Tom, do you have anything to say in closing?
Well, I'd like to say, I was very happy to be here on the show and honored guest, and God bless America, and hello, pigeon.